Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Entourage. So when I made my top 10 most anticipated films of 2015, some people may have been shocked to see amongst the big blockbusters and franchise affair, there was Entourage, up at the number 8 spot. Well, the reason for that, I am a huge Entourage fan. I watched every single season of the series, and I loved it. So, naturally, I was pretty frickin' excited for them to make this movie, just so that I can come back and be a part of this world. But were they able to recapture the feeling and magic of the series in a 2-hour film? Thankfully, the answer is yes. So let's go ahead and discuss the positives of the film first. Well, as I just said, the film feels like the series. It feels like we haven't even missed a beat. Yeah, some things have changed. Our characters are a little bit further along in their lives and their careers. You're able to just jump right back in with these characters, catch up with them quickly. It's like having a nice lunch with an old group of friends you haven't seen for a few years. You love to be a part of this group if you watched and were a fan of the show Entourage. Of course you love the humor, but these type of things are kind of lifestyle porn along with Sex in the City. You just want to be a part of this friendship. You want to be a part of this circle. You want to be a part of this lifestyle. And the movie delivers on that entire front. It presents the same extravagance, lush Hollywood lifestyle that we were accustomed to and that we couldn't wait to get back involved with. But as a film, this does stand on its own. You don't have to have watched all 8 seasons. You don't even have to have watched any of the seasons to understand the movie. It sets up a beginning, through points, all the way to its conclusion. So that's what a good movie should do, regardless of what the source material is. If it's a book, if it's a movie, if it's a comic book, if it's a television series, you should be able to come in completely blind and still enjoy yourself. And I think Entourage does a good job of inviting everyone into the party. Having said that, it also has plenty of inside jokes and laughs and nods to those longtime fans that maybe the new people won't find quite as funny or get as much enjoyment out of. And there are definitely open storylines throughout the movie that we jump back into that you would have much more context to if you have watched the series. But again, they do enough explanation, they do enough development of those storylines and these characters in this one film that it's not necessary that you have all that background information. So the TV series is basically a prequel that you can get caught up on like that in the film. And speaking of all these characters, they are back in full force. All of the actors are right at home playing the characters they played. Adrian Grenier is still Vinny. We still have Jerry Ferrera as a slightly thinner turtle. Not quite the cuddly little turtle we knew and loved from the television series. A lot more successful here as well. Kevin Connolly is still the E we loved. He has some weird developments though throughout this movie as well. And then there's Kevin Dillon, who still plays drama, just as annoying and obnoxious as ever. I have to say, drama really toed the line throughout the film of being overly grating to my nerves. But he stayed right on the good side of it. Some of his jokes didn't land, some of his gags were not so funny. But he's still lovably obnoxious drama. And then, of course, there's Jeremy Piven as Ari Gold. And we all know that Vincent Chase is the movie star, the pretty boy, the one everybody loves. Which, even over the last few seasons of Entourage, I thought his actual appearance and persona didn't quite match that super sex symbol portrayed in the film. He gets a little bit back here, still not quite there. But the story may be about Vinny, but Ari Gold is the true star, and he has the biggest laughs out of anyone in the film. And there are plenty of good, hearty, big laughs. Again, if we're doing made-up genres, this is lifestyle porn at its finest, but it is a comedy at its heart, and it does provide those laughs, which is necessary. But along with the main cast, there are a ton of cameos and minor characters from the show that are all back. But the cameos I thought really served to just amp it up. This is the most we've seen since, I don't know, Pitch Perfect 2, not that long ago. But the biggest role went to Ronda Rousey. This is probably the best I've seen her in an acting role. I thought she was funny. Her acting abilities were raised up a little bit from what we've seen her do in the past. And she was given quite a decent-sized role. So I'm glad that she really ran with it, was on board, and played the role really well. But we see everybody from Mark Wahlberg, who we all know is an executive producer and appeared in the actual show, to Jessica Alba. We see Clay Matthews and Tom Brady appearing again, another cameo and another comedy for them. So they're definitely trying to make their Hollywood careers happen. Looking forward to retirement, are we, gentlemen? So it's just an all-star studded cast, and they're all fun and into it. However, there are some definite negatives to Entourage as well. The biggest one was a problem in the series, but I never quite felt it as much as I did in this movie. And that it was just completely exploitative to the females here. We had Ronda Rousey as pretty much our only really redeeming female. Vincent's model girlfriend was also okay, but it just didn't quite work for me. I don't know. There was a lot of gratuitous boob and butt shots and bikinis and women everywhere with no redeeming women to make up for it anywhere. But then again, people do say that this is Sex and the City for guys. So naturally, they're definitely aiming for young male demographic. That's who they aimed for in the show. They want you to envision yourself as friends with these guys or in place with these guys. And in order to get the young straight male demographic on board, show boobs. and you've got them wishing they were there. But furthermore, I also thought that we got to points where these set pieces were cheesy, and it felt like HBO just put the exact same budget into the movie as they had with the television series. And you want it to feel a little bit more theatric. It didn't get to a grander scale, and when it tried to really showcase something, it definitely felt like TV show. The most glaring example is that at some point we're at an award show and it just looks so terrible. The clips look terrible, the set looks terrible, and it's completely unbelievable. So you'll see, I don't want to give spoilers, but the movie we're working on and how it unfolds to get to award season, just unbelievable. And you're like, there's no way this would ever even get close to being in the nomination circuits or discussions, and you just don't believe it as it comes to fruition. And also, while I thought Billy Bob Thornton was good, Haley Joel Osment kind of plays our main villain, and boy is he hamming it up. At some points I thought he was funny, and he really is all in, he's trying, so I'll give him that. But he's unbelievable as well, and some of his motives are so predictable and so mustache-twirling villain that it kind of took me out a little bit. But overall, I recommend Entourage, especially if you were a fan of the show. I think you will love the movie. You'll get right back into that atmosphere. We've been here so long without any new Entourage anything that, like, you're home again. So definitely recommend it for Entourage fans and for anybody who's looking for a good comedy, because I think you will definitely find this funny. But if you were never interested in the show, or you just didn't get the appeal of Entourage, then I say you could probably skip this one altogether. So, that has been my review of Entourage. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to go and see Entourage? And were you a fan of the show? If so, why? If not, what kept you from ever really getting interested? Let me know in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!